What's going on, everyone? Today in this piece, I want to talk about masking. Masking in general. Is now the time for masking to return? I've been seeing Bring Back Mask trending a ton on Twitter. And you know what? I thought, it's time for me to have my say because there's been a couple things that have come out this week, which both things I do believe we showed during the pandemic update. We're going to show them again. Then I'm going to give my opinion on this. So this is from The Independent. This is a European, UK news service. And they put here, call for return of face masks as COVID variant spreads. 5 Brits have died from the Arcturus strain of COVID. And then it comes down here to say, face masks should be worn again on public transport, experts say, as the Arcturus variant continues to spread. 5 people have died from the strain, according to the UK Health Security Agency, while 135 sequences have been detected in the UK so far, and there are believed to be around 104 cases. So Arcturus, which is XBB.1.6, is now spreading in the UK. And read this. Professor Stephen Griffin, chair of Independent SAGE, said that people should go back to testing regularly and wearing face masks to protect from the virus. Now, this is what they're saying in the UK. Let's cross the pond, cross the ocean, come back to the United States. Florida. As we all know, Florida does not care too much about the pandemic. Florida board may ban Disney from imposing COVID, mask, or vaccine rules. And it says here, April 26th, this was back on a few days ago, an oversight board in Florida on Wednesday will consider a ban on future COVID mask or vaccine mandates at Walt Disney World, part of an effort by state Republicans to assert more control over Walt Disney's company theme parks in Orlando. Alrighty, first off, here's my problem with that. The vaccine mandates, you want to ban them. While I don't agree with that, I'm not as upset about that as I am with them wanting to ban this, mask mandates. I do think now is a good time for us to impose mask mandates again in places. Our cases are super low right now. If we can put a stop on the case, if we can put a grip on the cases while they are low, and I know some are going to comment saying, oh, we're missing data right now. Yes, we are. But you have to understand something. This is the lowest we have seen data in the United States since the first vaccination period. That's a good thing. If we want to keep it that low, we need to go back to wearing these. We need these to be worn, not the cloth mask, not the makeshift. Oh, I'm going to put a scarf over my face, call it a mask. Not the surgical mask. N95s are better. Now would be a good time to go back to that. Because if we catch the cases when they're low before the next wave, guess what happens if we start this before the next wave? The cases will never significantly rise. They'll go up some, but they will never explode. And the places where they'll go up some are where anti-masking was a problem since the beginning of the pandemic. And yeah, still go up in the crowded places as well. But this can limit how big the next wave will be. Now is the prime time to go back to masking. I have said since the beginning of the pandemic, if we let our guard down in the in-between waves, it's just going to further hurt us in future waves. If we up our game when levels are low, we can stay on top of this and beat it. And that's how we would have beat this from the beginning. If I was in charge, I would have not eased restrictions. I would have kept things up when it's low until we can get it even lower, like down to almost no cases. But it's too late now, so what I'm saying to you is, as an independent person, I want you to choose the choice to start masking again. Am I forcing this on you? No. You can live your life however you please. But my recommendation to you is, if you have stopped masking because you felt, well, it's getting safe again, levels are low, hold up here. XBB.1.6 is rising in proportion. We see it now. It's now over 11%. Once it gets to around 40 or 50%, it's going to cause an increase in cases on the national level. And some parts of the United States, it's going to happen before that because each state rises differently than others. Some states may rise faster than others. If we start wearing these again now, for those who stopped wearing, you will protect yourself. You had your period where things were low. They still are low, but it's time to start coming back to taking things serious. Remember when I was telling you all a few weeks ago, or over the last couple of weeks, if there was ever time to get anything done, appointments and everything? Yes, there was that time. Now's the time to start getting yourself a little bit more strict again. It's time to start taking things a little bit more serious again. The next wave is coming. We're seeing Ohio. We're seeing Michigan. We're going to watch what happens where the NFL draft is. We're going to watch what happens with the Kentucky Derby. We're going to watch what happens in areas that see spike in tourism during the warm season. And we'll see what happens. Now that all those activities are going to start happening, like just in a couple weeks, the beaches along the Atlantic coast are going to be packed with people. Start masking up again, because now is the time. I always say if we can be one step ahead of the game, we'll be good. For those who are watching this, start taking everything seriously again. If you're one step ahead of the next surge, you can help keep yourself safe over the next coming weeks when the next surge potentially comes. Remember, I've been saying it for most of the week now. We used to follow Europe, and it's possible we go back to that. They're seeing an XBB.1.6 starting to rise the same time as us, and their cases are starting to rise just a little bit earlier than us. That's a 2 to 4 week indicator. After these next 2 to 4 weeks, you might not want to be doing risky activity anymore. That's just my opinion. And we'll see what happens. Alrighty, thanks for watching this little, I guess you could call it editorial or an opinion piece. And I'll see you all again tomorrow for the next pandemic update video. Have a great night, everyone. Stay safe.